Hello. We've had a lot of questions about the FEC filing that was made against Lance Gooden and his committee for Congress. We wanted to go through and let everybody see exactly how you can get this information and see that it's coming directly from the FEC web pages and Mr. Lance Gooden's committee's filings. Now, it's very easy to find. You can just go to Don Hill for Congress, donhillforcongress.com. You can scroll and look at the news section. And it's going to bring you a page where you can scroll down to the news and see there's a filing, there's a PDF. Now, I'll just open it up. I've already opened it up. So you can click on the filing and see that a complaint was made that for calendar year, Lance Gooden for Congress Committee paid Congressman Lance Gooden $141,260.69 through 23 disbursements described as expense reimbursement, and that this represents 30% of all expenditures by the committee. And you can see that that 30% is driven by their expenditures for calendar year 2019 were $477,399.54. So this is the complaint. And we have full copies of the exhibits that list it, but I'm going to show you how we got to where these exhibits were and how you can look for yourself. So we're going to go on back to the FEC homepage that you can see. So there's the FEC homepage, which is going to start fresh. All you got to do is go to the campaign finance data and click on that. Go over and find where it says candidate and click on that. Let it open up. So you can look for presidential candidates, Senate candidates, but we're interested in House representative candidates here. So this is how you find out where your representative is spending the money that either you've given them or other people have given them. Now you can see this pulled up. This is for all the representatives and candidates. So we're going to look for Mr. Gooden's. So you type in Gooden in the search, pull up Lance Gooden, and it'll bring in, Lance Gooden, Republican Party, Texas 5th District. It'll show here's his receipts, $944,000, just over that. And the expenditures of over $477,000, like we told earlier. You click on Lance Gooden, and now it's going to further expand to give you detail on how they broke down all these numbers, either on the expenditures and the contributions. So you can see how much money they raised, and then you can come down to see how much they spent, and we're looking at the expenditures. You just click on the expenditures, and it's going to expand further again. Now it's going to break down basically what they expanded, what they paid out in the automatic system here that you can see. So Lance Gooden for committees 2019 to 2020, and this is his operating expenditures. So this is all of them, and now this is really showing from January all the way through the end of September of 2019. This is what's automatically loaded in now that you can search for without going to individual reports. So what we did is you look in here and you see there's all the standard expenses, travel expenses, ad expenses, air travel, donations, a lot of air travel, things like that. They were traveling around, either probably campaigning, raising funds. So staff meals. But what you also see mixed into all these during the whole year are these expenses that they've labeled description as expense reimbursement. Now these are checks directly payable to Mr. Lance Gooden from the Lance Gooden Congress Committee. So there's no further definition of where this money is going to. And again, what we're really interested in these, so we're going to sort down and find those. And I've already done that. You have to come down in the disbursement details and under the recipient details and see who it's to a certain person and it's a reimbursable expense. But I've already done that. And you're going to see that when you do that. So look. Lance Gooden, 1920 to 20, or 1990, or 2019, sorry, to 2020, and then from January to September, you get reimbursements. And what you see are these expense reimbursements again. On this entry from January to September, there were 19 of them. Now, there is one on here that came up as a travel expense reimbursement. They said what it was, so you take that one out. So if you add up all these disbursements, you add up the total of all these disbursements between January and September of checks paid directly to Lance Gooden from his committee, and it's $103,901.87. That's what his committee paid directly to Lance Gooden during this time period. Now, to get the fourth quarter results, which aren't automatically in the system yet, you have to go to a separate file where they file their fourth quarter report, and you have to pull them up. But what you'll see, same thing, you've got a bunch of other expenses that look like they're being recorded, and there's memos that kind of tell where they go. But as you go through these, you'll see, I mean, look, they have general campaign consulting $30,000, media placement $10,000, things like that. They're paying the campaign, they're sending mailers out, they're traveling around to talk to people, things like that. But you still see through that time period these expense reimbursements paid directly to Lance Gooden to his address in Terrell. Now, we've been told that they've been saying that, you're not looking at the memos, you're not looking at the description. Well, that's not true, because if you look on this form, on the filing, there is no memo. They've got a memo for the lunches, memo for ads, memos for fundraising services. There's memos for a lot of things on here, but what there's not memos for are these expense reimbursements. There's no further detail on where this money is going to. All we know is being paid directly to Lance Gooden. And so here's the third quarter numbers. Look, you got 5,000, no memo, 5,500 or 5,588, no memo. And then you've got expense reimbursements, 3,500, no memo. Expense reimbursement, no memo. Expense reimbursement, no memo. No memo. Expense reimbursement, no memo. And these are fairly large amounts of money. 7,000, 5,500, 5,500, 5,000, 5,300. They seem to be, some of them the same dollar amounts. So if you add all of these together for the fourth quarter, the amount of money that Lance Gooden's committee paid directly to Lance Gooden is $37,358.82. That means the total for the year that his committee paid directly to Lance Gooden is $141,260.69. So on face value, again, you look at it and the average person would say, well, what's that mean? How much? Maybe that's normal for all the candidates. So we thought the same thing. So you look at it, you go into the system again, and now what you can do is we just went in and put in all the searches. So here's a search that has every single Congress representative from Texas for the 116th Congress in the search parameters. So these would be reimbursements that committees have paid directly to these candidates. And remember, this is all the other candidates. So there's 13 of them that were paid directly from the committees to the candidate themselves. If you add these totals up of these entries, it comes up to just over $6,503. So every other representative in Texas paid themselves from their committees just over $6,503, while Mr. Gooden paid himself $141,260.69. So it doesn't seem standard, the reporting process, and that's why a FEC complaint was filed against the committee and Mr. Lance Gooden. Every single voter, every single person that donates money to a candidate should know where the money is going to. We should be able to look into these dollar figures and know what vendors are being paid for, just like on these reports where it was air travel to United, a donation to a science club, all these type of things. But the fact is, if you look at all these expense reimbursements for all these dollar figures, all you can really tell is that this money was paid directly to Lance Gooden. That's been happening throughout the entire year. So, hey, that's the total number. What does that mean then again? If you go back to the totals that we went from in the beginning, so their total disbursements that they paid to themselves for the whole campaign was $477,000, $399.54. He paid himself $141,260.69. So that means that almost 30% of all the campaign expenditures and payments for the entire year were made directly to Mr. Lance Gooden with no explanation of where that money has gone to. So that's why the file was complaint. Please do your own research. Please go to the FEC. I've showed you how to do it. All you need to do, again, is go to the FEC webpage, to the home page, and type in your candidate's name. It'll tell you where all the expenses are and what he's paying for. So anyway, thank you very much.